suppose you have some games.
Hey guys, welcome back to Classic G-Body Garage, your automotive G-spot. Well, I'm at one of my other storage garages, and sitting here in the garage behind me are a couple of cars that you guys have not seen in a very long time. And if you're new to my channel, or even relatively new, even within the past year or two, you probably haven't seen these cars at all. These are probably the first two of the very first cars that I showed on my channel. So let me open up the door and I'll show you guys what is behind door number one. And there you go, 1979 Hurst Olds, white and gold, if you can't tell that already, factory T-top. And this other car sitting here beside it is a 1978 Cutlass Supreme. Very, very special car, one-off built car if you ask me. This car is a factory T-top, factory 4-speed with bench seat in a Cutlass Supreme. I've only seen the 4-speeds in the Cutlass Calais models, so the Supremes are very rare, let alone a bench seat and the T-top. And these cars are so dusty. This is about to be an episode of Cars in Barns. I mean, these cars are caked in dust. They've been sitting here for now probably 7 years, and the lighting is about as good as it gets in here, so I hope you guys can see, get a good shot of what you're looking at here. But the Hurst Olds here was restored once before by the Hurst Olds Club of America. There's the sticker right there. And it was restored in the mid-90s. It was originally going to be a parts car for another car, but they ended up restoring it. And I bought it in 2001-ish, I guess, maybe 2002, I don't really recall. It has been a while, and this car sitting here beside it also purchased around that particular time frame. So I've had each one of these cars for about 12 years, and they've sat for the majority of that time, if not the entire time. These cars were sitting in a barn before I drove them and parked them in this garage here. So they are nice and dry, out of the weather, and in just as good a shape as when I bought them. And let me just do a real quick overview of these cars. Once again, I know I have these on my channel, but I thought I'd do a little update. As far as update goes, there really isn't much happening with them other than them sitting here, but you can see I have all of the interior out of the Hurst Olds. Dashboard's out of it, wiring harness is just kind of laying there, just so I can fire it up and drive it onto a trailer if I need to. I got a blue seat sitting in here. I have the full interior for this car sitting at my house. Well, you can see when they restored the car, they painted the floorboards. Everything's nice and clean. The car didn't have any signs of rot or anything like that, and it does have power locks, power windows, fully optioned car. Like I said, factory T-top car. And the reason why I pulled the interior out of it is because I did the old switcheroo with a 79 Hurst Olds hardtop that I had that I sold when I bought this one. And before I actually sold the car, I swapped the interiors because the interior in the car that I was selling was much better shape, so I wanted the nicer of the two. So took advantage of that situation. But the car has a nice fresh paint job on it, at least from the mid-90s, but it still looks beautiful as ever. And when they restored it, they put all new emblems on it, a lot of NOS chrome, redid the bumpers, redid the wheels. They have the original Goodyear Eagle GT Plus 4s on it, so those tires are very, very rare. And so the car overall is in very, very nice shape, but it needs to be put back together. Let me open up the hood. Here's what it looks like under the hood. And the reason why I stopped driving this car, other than pulling the interior out of it and not putting it back together, is because as I started going through this car, I realized that they did cut a lot of corners on it. All of the ground straps are not in their proper places, if not missing, on the engine. There is one right there on the firewall there, but there's many others missing, like the AC ground strap. Little tedious stuff that kind of got to me. So I just basically parked it, and I was in between moving to another house. I didn't have a good place to put this car as well. So there it sits. So I will definitely be getting to this car once I build my pole barn. This car as well. Once that pole barn goes up, these cars will be put on a trailer and brought to my house, where they will finally be part of the Cutlass farm, I guess. And here is the 78 Cutlass Supreme 4-speed, just as dusty as the Hurst. This car is completely original, 100% as original as it gets. Has never been touched. I can't open the hood because the hood latch or the cable's busted. If not, I'd show you guys under the hood there. But it does have the factory aluminum hood. It came from Grand Junction, Colorado, which is about as close as you can get to the border of Utah. And if you guys know anything about cars from the West Coast, especially from Utah, Nevada, Colorado, they just stay as clean as it gets. So this car doesn't have any rust whatsoever. All the chrome is in excellent shape. Tail lights, bumpers, everything is in perfect condition, except for the vinyl top, of course. You know, the sun just bakes everything up out west. And there are the factory T-tops, and hopefully you guys can get a good look at what the interior looks like. Let me delicately open this door so it doesn't hit the Hurst, and peek inside here. So there is the factory 4-speed 60/40 split bench seat, T-top roof, and you gotta love the factory 4-speed G-bodies. Very, very rare. They only did that 78 through 81. 81 through Chevy. The El Caminos, they put a lot of 4-speeds in those. But the 78 was the only year that had the factory Hurst shifter on it. There you go. It says Hurst right there on the handle. It does have the Hurst T-handle, but that isn't factory. It should have the 4-speed knob on it. But you can see it is well baked from the sun. A lot of fade on the seats. The dash isn't too terribly cracked, but overall the car is very original and very, very clean. Never really been messed with. So, has a droopy headliner, but you know, this car is 35 years old or so, and one of these days it will get restored. Yes, it will get restored. I have every bit of NOS parts for this car to get this car back to its original showroom condition. And you can see what the original color used to be and what it faded to. So there you go. Just wanted to do a real quick overview of what was in one of my other storage garages. And I know I've had several people who have been long-term subscribers of my channel asking for an update on these vehicles. So there you go. Sitting in a garage for 7+ years, covered in dust, but hey, they're out of the elements and they're safe. So there you go. Alright guys, well, as always, keep on subscribing, keep on commenting, and of course I will keep on replying to your comments. Alright guys, I will talk to you in the next classic G-body video, your automotive G-spot. Okay.